Hey, what's up, guys? Kevin here again on the Double Clutch podcast. Um, on this very dreary and rainy day, it's gross outside right now. Um, I'm up north here. I'm in the mountains, surrounded by all these beautiful fall leaves, all the red, oranges, and yellows, complemented by some greens up here. It's fucking beautiful, man. I love this time of year. I love it, but the only thing that sucks is knowing that what comes after this is the goddamn winter, in which, I don't dislike winter. Like, I don't hate winter. I'm just not a huge fan of snow. And when I say not a huge fan of snow, I don't mean like I don't like shoveling it. I don't like playing in it. I don't like driving in it because up here in PA, they're PennDOT doesn't really give two shits. They just when they want to plow, then they'll plow. If they don't like to keep on top of that shit like we should. I don't know. I don't know if it's just they don't want to do it or what. But anytime it seems that we're gonna get like an accumulation, something that's gonna be noticed, something that's gonna be like, oh, we might get 10 inches of snow. We might get a foot and a half of snow. They they seem to They seem to point it. They seem to like keep they just seem to not want to do it right away. They seem to put it off for however long, and then we end up going out. People drive. They end up getting into wrecks. Even like pre-treatment. They won't even go like pre-salt the roads or anything like that. And someone told me, they said, well, it's because they have to have more than 2 inches on the ground before they start plowing. I'm like, well, if it's not laying on the road, then whatever, that's fine. But once it starts laying on the road, you should probably do something. I mean, people don't know how to drive. Okay, I say this every fucking podcast. People don't know how to drive. So the second that they get out on the road, they're gonna start driving. There's gonna be wrecks, especially like on the like certain areas on the interstate. If they don't keep that shit clean, that's gonna be shut down because nobody's gonna be driving. Nobody's gonna, as one, someone's gonna wreck, and then that's it. That's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be backed up for miles. Especially if like we have a large accumulation of snow. They need to get out there and fucking get on it. At least be prepared. Sometimes they do it right. Sometimes they get it right on the head. They're out there waiting for it. They'll pre-treat for any ice. But other times, like when we had like a huge snowstorm. This was years ago. This is before I was even a truck driver. We had a huge. I'm pretty sure we're looking at getting like 2 feet somewhere around there, and they didn't do a goddamn thing about it until there was already a foot and a half on the ground. Then they're like, all right, well, let's start plowing. And then they plowed like barely any of the main roads. Like we literally going down the road. Oh my god, why am I yawning? Going down the highway there where I used to live. It's a pretty decently busy highway, but there was like a foot of snow on the ground, and people were just driving over it. And then they said, then they were telling people not to go out. They were telling people to stay home. It became a state of emergency and said you can't leave. And there was already people out. People went to work and shit. That stuff was already going on. So there was still people on the road, and they didn't do anything about it until like almost what it seems like the next day. It was fucking ridiculous, and that's why I always talk shit on PennDOT. Usually it's just for like road work stuff like that. But oh come on, man, really? Is this how we're gonna be? Usually it's their lack of road work that they do, or you know, or in this case the snow. But I don't understand why they don't just fucking do it, man. Fucking do it. I mean, you're getting paid. You're getting paid fucking big bucks to do it too. But hey, what do I know? I don't work for PennDOT. I know people who do work for PennDOT, And they say it's kind of, they say just because of it being a state job, people are kind of a little more lazier, kind of like a union job. They're just people won't do work as hard because the unions there to protect them and whatnot. Well, I don't know if that's the same with the state. I'm pretty sure they don't have a union, but they might. I don't fucking know. Doesn't matter. Just do your fucking job, man. Do your fucking job. I don't want to have to drive in the snow. I got stuck in the snow when I was driving truck. Well, probably like 3 years into me driving truck. I went up to this place up here in the mountains, and I was trying to go up the mountain again because it's to get to this little town. You have to go down the mountain after you go up it. Well, I'm going up the mountain to get back to the highway, and fucking they didn't even touch the road that goes down the mountain. They didn't even touch that route. It's a state route too, but no, they didn't even touch it. I finally got to like the middle of the mountain. I started sliding towards the edge, and I got stuck because I was stopped. I had a good bit of weight on me too. I had like 35 or 38,000 pounds. But nothing I could do to get up there would work. Locking my diffs, even just the weight itself, the extra axle with the fucking 4 extra tires just didn't help. And it was a pain in the ass. They had to come get someone to plow me out, tow me out. And the guy in the tow truck towed me up the mountain more, like just a little bit more. And it was like, all right, you're good to go. And I couldn't go. I was like, dude, I'm stuck. There's snow on the ground. I'm just sliding on this snow and ice. There's nothing I can do. So he called somebody from PennDOT, and this guy came, and he came from behind me going up the mountain, came by with his plow, plowed once, sprayed a little bit of salt around, and then that was it. We never saw him again. So I had to back up down the mountain to get over to where he plowed, where there was some, and he put the salt at, so there was some traction, and get my way up that fucking mountain. It was such a pain in the ass. It was the worst, one of the worst ever. Worst experiences I ever had being a truck driver. And if it was up to me, I'd never drive in the snow. I'd just take off work. Fuck that. It's garbage. There's no goddamn reason for there to be that much snow on the fucking ground. I mean, just plow it. Just fucking plow it. Ugh, fuck. But yep, nice and fally up here. Beautiful leaves, which of course means winter's coming, snow and ice, which means salt. Salt. We're going to have salt. It's going to rust our fucking vehicles up. Can't wait for that shit. I mean, unless you go through a car wash every day before you get home or some shit, or if you spray it off in your driveway. But let's be honest, there's not many of us doing that. The only people that are really doing that is if they're out driving their nice vehicles, Oh, got to get back here and, spray off my new Corvette that I probably shouldn't have been driving in the snow, but hey, fuck it, I needed to drive it. I spent $110,000 on it to fucking buy it. It's just absurd to me. I feel if you spend over $50,000 for a car, it's fucking ridiculous. There's no reason. The only difference between the cars, like the more base models and like the luxury models, is the bells and whistles. It's not like it's going to run better. It's not going to last any longer. It's just now you have heated seats and, cooled seats and all this other, shit that you don't really need. A fucking big-ass screen in the middle of your fucking console. You don't need that shit. Nobody needs that shit. Why do you need that shit? You know what I mean? You have GPS on your phone now. Phones have GPS. You don't need that big-ass screen for, anything besides, even music. You know what I mean? If you got an auxiliary cord, it's going to go right to your phone anyway. I don't know. A backup camera, maybe. But why do you need the backup camera? Use your mirrors like you did like everybody did fucking before. You know what I mean? Sure, I'm sure it's nice to have a backup camera, especially if you have like a bigger vehicle. My buddy, they just got a new Suburban, and that thing is super fucking nice, but it's got a backup camera on it, which he doesn't use because he doesn't suck at driving. But a lot of fucking people will try and use that, and they'll fuck up because they don't know what the lines mean. You know, they'll look at the, well, was the yellow line where my tires are, or, you know, or is it the red line? Like, yeah, I don't know. You'll find out when you hit it. And that's what happens. People hit the shit, and then they end up fucking hitting something. They hit something, and they end up having to call their insurance, and insurance is like, well, did you have a backup camera? They're like, yeah. And you still hit something. You know, I can't, I can't deal with those things. You know what I mean? Would it be nice to have one? Sure, I guess it would be nice. But what else do I need there, that giant fucking screen for? You know what I mean? I'm not going to watch YouTube videos while I'm fucking doing this shit. I'm not going to be, you know, it's not like I'm going to pop in a DVD and start watching Billy Madison while I'm fucking doing 70 miles an hour on the freeway. You know, so why fucking have that? There's no point. I just, you know, that's why when I see people spend, you know, obviously, most of the time people are spending $100,000 on a car. They're getting like a luxury sports car or something like that. But those new Suburbans, man, if you get like the top model, it's like $80,000. It's like, dude, it's like, it's almost half my fucking house, dude. You can put a down payment on a house, and you know, you know, have fucking little ass mortgage payments for the next 20 years. But you're gonna have fucking $80,000 vehicle that's not gonna last any longer than if you would have just bought the $40,000 model. You know, the only difference is like the luxury in it, the bells and whistles. And that bugs the shit out of me. You know what I mean? You want a fucking DVD player in that thing, you know, for your kids or whatever, that right there is gonna cost you an extra $5,000 just to do that. When literally anybody could just fucking cut a hole in the roof, you know, make a little, you know, a little area for like a little area for it to sit, you know, hang it up in there, drill it into wherever, run a cable to your battery or something like that, or somewhere, you know, somewhere up there, and fucking do it that way, you know, for like $200. I mean, something that could cost somebody $200 to do themselves, they'll spend $5,000 to have them install it or have it special custom ordered. You know what I mean? Like when I buy a car, I want 3 row seats. I want 3 rows of seats. You know what I mean? And I want an auxiliary cable. That's it. That's all I fucking want. You know, now the wife, she wants a DVD player in the back for the kids. But I'm like, I'm not buying that. You know, we can get, you know, my brother-in-law to fucking do that. You know, we can get him to do that. And fucking, you know, put that in there. It'll cost us, you know, $250 just to have that thing up there and mounted. And then whatever cables that need ran, get ran to wherever. You know. Plus, why would they need that when we can just give them a fucking, I guess that does need to hang up so they can all see it. But I don't know. The youngest one's not even gonna fucking read it. He's a baby. Or watch it, I mean. He's not gonna watch the TV. He's just gonna be sleeping. You know, the middle child, I'm sure he'll watch it, I guess, but then the oldest one will watch. But then they're gonna fucking continuously disagree on what to watch, and it's just gonna be a mess. I know it is. You know, we'll see what happens here once we go and get a new vehicle, but I'm not getting nothing fucking fancy. There's no reason for it. Fucking $50,000 for, you know, a vehicle that'll last the same amount of time as one that costs 30. Not that you're not gonna find a car for, you know, at least a larger SUV for less than 30 grand. Because if it was up to me, I'd go out and get like a Toyota Camry or something like that. But we have more children now, and we're gonna need more space. Because if we go on vacations and shit, we're gonna have to have more bags too. You know, so I guess that's why we're looking into getting some a nice 3-row, you know, a little 3-row SUV. You know, not a Suburban. We don't need nothing that fucking big. You know, we're looking at the Toyota Highlander there. That looks really nice. And then the Chevy Traverse. That was pretty cool looking, but I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet. What was the other one? The Honda Pilot. That might be a good one to look into too. But I don't know. We'll see what goes on. As of right now, the only vehicle that fits 3 car seats is my truck, and that thing is, you know, it's just old. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable taking that to like, you know, up to like the mountains or whatever, or down to the beach or something like that. Not that I don't think it wouldn't make it, but I also don't think, there might be a chance it doesn't make it. It's got almost 180,000 miles on it. You know what I mean? If it's, if we're driving it, the transmission's wonky a little bit. We're driving it, to my mom's house down the road or something like that. That's different. But, and then her car is just so little, we can only fit 2 car seats in it. And the thing doesn't even get that good a gas mileage anyway, like we thought it would. So, I mean, and then, there's no point to fucking be taking that anywhere. And then my car, my little Honda Civic that I take to and from work, that's a 2-door fucking Civic, man. Like, there's no fucking reason to fucking, there's no way we're fitting 3 car seats in that. And plus, after that, we'll fill the trunk up with shit, and that's it. It's just not enough room. Now, once they get older, I need some leg room. Well, they ain't getting it in that. You know what I mean? The Honda Civic was my first car ever. I had a 2-door Honda Civic. That was my first car ever. And my friends could never fit in that fucking thing. Especially my tall friends. They would never be able to fit in the back. Let alone the front without having to slide the seat back the whole way. They're just small cars. And that's why I take this to work. So I can get that sweet, sweet gas mileage. So I don't have to worry about fucking filling my tank up every 4 days with my fucking truck. Because I'm just, sucking gasoline out. And then her car is her car is fucking terrible. Fucking sunroof leaks, and, I feel like the transmission's getting a little weird on that, too. So we're going to have to end up getting, at least, by this coming summer. Next summer, I should say. We're going to have to look into getting something. And I don't know, we might trade in just her car. We might trade in my car, my truck, and her car. I haven't quite decided yet. My truck's still in decent condition for how old it is, engine-wise. But the transmission, like I said, is a little wonky. And I don't want to, I don't know if I'm going to be able to ever fix that. You know what I mean? If I take it somewhere, they're going to need, it's going to take, fucking $5 to $7 grand to fix it. That wouldn't be worth it. I don't even think it's worth that much. It's a 2008. Like I said, 180,000 miles. Like I said, it's in decent condition. The body's a little fucked up. Just for me, like, hauling shit. And, things are, like, dented around and shit. There's, like, little dents in it everywhere. But I think I'm better off just getting rid of both of them and then having, the bigger vehicle there. For her, whenever I'm at work or something like that, and then whenever we're going places, we can easily fit all the kids in it, plus us, and not have any issues. But we'll see what it's like. I like being a 3-car family, though. That's my thing, is I like having the 3rd car. Not that my wife drives around a lot, because she doesn't drive that much, because she's at home with, it's a lot to haul around 3 kids, so she's not going to go anywhere all the time, but it's nice because I keep my miles low on a lot of the other vehicles, because just drive the Honda around, gets good gas mileage. That also has fucking, 170,000, I think it does. So I mean, I don't know. It's not none of our vehicles are very new, but they're not like super old either. I don't know. We'll see how this works out, though, because I'm not... What the fuck is this guy doing? What the fuck? Oh, hold on. Let me give you a pause quick. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I actually don't remember what I was talking about. So, let's talk about something else then. Alright. So, what the fuck? These fucking trucks, I swear to God. I know what I was talking about. Fucking bells and whistles on cars. At least one of the things I was. Yeah, these fucking new trucks we have just have all those things, all the bells and whistles. Fucking pointless. Driving a truck, you know what I mean? Doesn't need to beep at me for every goddamn thing. Which it does. I mean, I get it. I guess it's for safety and whatnot. See, now the fucking lane departure fucking warning is fucking fucked up. Jesus, man. Oh, I'm going. Fuck you, buddy. But, yeah, they don't need all these bells and whistles, I don't think, for a big rig. I mean, it is nice, like I said, I think I mentioned it before. These things have the cruise control feature where it'll stop. If you get too close to a vehicle, it'll like not really stop for you, but it'll slow down. You know, it'll keep the 4 second the 4 second rule, which is you want to stay 4 seconds behind the vehicle in front of you, just so you have the allotted time to stop. And this, if you have the cruise control on, it'll actually like slow you down. Like if you come within 6 to 8 seconds of it, it'll be like, oh well, if he's going this fast at this time, he'll have to get down to this fast to stay behind him at the 4 second rule, or yeah, the 4 second time limit, which is nice. But it's almost a pain in the ass because sometimes you're gonna end up being behind somebody. Oh, I keep fucking yawning. You end up being behind somebody that's going 55 miles an hour, in a 65, so then you're doing 50 or 49, which is a bit of a pain, but whatever. But, man, these houses out here are fucking nice. These are really nice houses. I'm in this little town up here, and, it's, out in the middle of nowhere. Like, I don't even know if they have well, I think they have a gas station, but they don't have, the nearest Walmart is probably a good 40 minutes away, more than likely. Well, maybe not, maybe 30, because there's one down the other way here. So yeah, it's probably a good half hour away for any big name grocery store. But all the nice houses down here are really nice, and they're kind of spread apart. Looks like everybody has, and like an acre or two, just to fucking. I mean, some people have a bunch of acreage out here, but it looks like they have nice big yards and stuff. And I can imagine taxes aren't very high out here, but well, see, now we're going down, leaving the town itself. Some of the houses here are kind of dingy and worn down, but it's not bad. It's pretty nice. It's a nice little area. I might, maybe one of these days, yeah, I might think. I'll never move out here. It's too far away from everybody, and well, at least my family and shit. It would just be a pain in the ass to get to work, because there's probably nowhere to work out here, besides the two places I was just at. They're probably the only places. Oh my God, why? I slept for 9 hours last night. I don't know why. I'm so goddamn tired. I might still need to catch up on some because this weekend was kind of rough with sleep. I had not slept much this weekend, I should say. With having to go. We had to go to take the baby to the emergency room on Friday or Thursday, then to his actual doctor on Friday, make sure everything was working out, and then Saturday and Sunday were just busy days. I had so much to do that, mostly yard work and stuff. Still trying to get that bamboo out of my yard, but I got a power shovel now, so that made it that'll make it a lot easier to actually dig it out of the ground. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just fucking tired, which is not a good thing, especially now. I mean, I'm only 4 hours into my fucking shift here. And heading back from my first run here. Hopefully, they'll give me something nice and long that I can fucking be out for a while and take my lunch and get a little bit of overtime so I can make up for Thursday and Friday because I wasn't here. But yeah, we got to do all that this weekend, so I think I'm still trying to catch up on some of the sleep that I'm missing out on. I had to fix that car. Finally fixed the Honda, which is very nice. Now I got my gas mileage back when I go to work. I'm not filling up my car tank every 4 days. But yeah, this area is super nice. If I was able to find a job out here, something, or at least something around here, I would move out here. It's really nice out here. You're far away from anything. The only issue is, I think they only get the internet provider that's out here. I think the only one that they get is the same one that I used to have where I live, which is literally an hour and a half away from here. And they're garbage. They're like a DSL network, and they're nice because they have no data cap or anything like that. And they're not expensive. But man, I didn't have internet for like almost 3 months, and I kept paying this bill. I kept, calling them. I called them like every weekend for like 3 months. They have like 11 calls from me, just from that whole time, and they would always we had 4 or 5 different technicians out there to fix it, and every time they would get it to work. It would work for a day, and that was it. And then I got fed up with it. I called them. I said, I need to cancel my stuff. And they're like, well, you're still on a 2-year contract. I'm like, well, as far as I'm concerned, you guys broke that contract by not giving me the service that I keep paying your ass for every month. And I'm done. I'm not giving you guys another cent. I want it all gone. I want it done. I want to be done with it. Get it out of here. Just get it out of here. I don't want it anymore. I'm going to get somebody else. And then that day, I called the other company that services my area because we only have, 2 regular internet providers, and then there's the satellite internet, which I don't trust that right now either. So the place we got now is cable internet. It's so much nicer. I've had no issues with it. The only issue that I don't like about it is the fact that it has a data cap, which I could change if I wanted to, but we haven't gone over that data cap yet. I think the most I ever used was like 75% of the data cap. I mean, because they sent me an email. They're like, hey, you have reached 75% of your data cap. And it was like the 27th or the 28th of whatever month it was. So I was like, okay, I think we're good. But if that keeps happening a lot, I might just upgrade it. It's extra like $30 a month to get unlimited data plus faster speeds too. You know what I mean? So not that we have any issues with the speed, because it literally all we do is stream, like Netflix and stuff like that. I don't play games online, not anymore at least. So there's no reason for me to have a ridiculously fast internet speed. And even if I did play online, I could probably just run a line from the router, like actually have a a wired connection, and it would do just fine, because that's the best way to do it, honestly. But going up the mountain. Going up the mountain I got stuck on last year. The exact same mountain. But luckily it's just rain, so I'm good. But yeah, there's no reason for me to have all that. Just, as long as I can stream, Netflix and YouTube and whatever the kids watch, there's no issue. But so long as I don't go over that data cap, like I said, so far I've only hit the 75% mark once. And other than that, I haven't gone up any farther. And with what I pay now, like I paid $40 a month for my internet from the old company. I pay like $60 a month for this place. So that extra $20 was totally worth it just to have working internet all the time. All the time. I haven't had to worry about any kind of, my internet going down or anything like that. I've never even had to reset the modem or the router. I've never had to do any of that. All I've just been using it. It's just perfect, man. I enjoy it a lot. They're a good company. Yeah, they're a good company, as far as, they're the only 2 companies that we really get besides the satellite internet. But they're on par with like Comcast, essentially. Yeah, I mean, because they have cable. They have like cable and internet too. But we still have that, I think it's Dish Network or whatever. Yeah, we still have Dish Network, which we've never had an issue with either. Even though it's satellite, we've never had any issue with them. It's only went down like 2 or 3 times in like the year and a half we've had them. And now it's only whenever it was, raining or it's shitty outside, you know what I mean? It was never like just went down for no reason. Unlike our internet, that would go down all the time. Like before it actually went out for good, I was resetting that modem every day. Every day I had to reset the modem. And it got old. I after a while, like I just stopped doing it because it wasn't working. To the point, I called them so much to the point where I had like access to like the inside, like the software for my router. And I would just go on there and just change things around to make it work for, 6 hours, and then it would just go away because then they would reset it all. And I called them about it. And they're just like, well, that's our software. It can only be used or changed through us. And I'm like, well, I changed it to the exact thing you guys told me to change it to last time, which made it work. So basically what you're saying is you change it and then you just stop. You change it back just so I have to call you again. Not happening. So I fucking, I dropped them and then, but this place I have now, man, the internet I have now, now granted I haven't had it as long as I had like Comcast before, but even on Comcast, I had to reset the router, a couple times throughout, the time I had it. The first place we had it, I know I had to reset it at least once or twice, every, couple weeks, just because it would just, go off. It would stop working. And then at the other place we had, the little house we had, I had to reset it a couple times too because it would just go off. Now, granted, we had a technician come out after a while, and they said whoever did it before, fucked it all up. There was like 6 or 7 lines leading into one little uh, one uh, one little splitter, and he was just like, since it's the only internet, I just took all that shit out. Now it's just a direct line, and then we never had an issue with it then. It's usually like that. If something fucks up with like Comcast, it's usually a technician thing. Like they have to come out and fix something because how many when you go somewhere, how many different internet companies piggyback off of the stuff that was left behind by the other internet company. And I'll be honest, as much as Comcast isn't a great company as far as like their customer service because it is kind of poop, but I feel like that's any company has shit customer service. You know what I mean? But I feel like Verizon and Comcast, and even though company I have now, I feel like they're some of the best ones, man, because there's just always they're always on top of it. They're always on top of it. And that's fantastic because I I don't watch cable. You know what I mean? When our satellite dish goes down, I don't even fucking notice it because I don't ever watch it. The kids watch more cable than I do, and my wife watches fucking reruns of Friends, on Nick at Night. That's all she watches. So I mean, that's probably the only reason we actually keep it. I even told her I was like, we could just drop the cable, and fucking have the internet, upgrade the internet, so that they can just watch this stuff all day long. You know what I mean? Like, and the internet is we're usually streaming something all day long. I mean, on Netflix or Disney or whatever's on there, or YouTube. So I guess we don't use as much stuff as we normally we think. But like I said, 75% of the cap, which is like a little over a terabyte. So I think our cap is like a terabyte and a half. So I think about that. I'm like, I feel like that's not a lot because when you put that in terms of like video games, fucking, you could fill up a terabyte on your like PlayStation's hard drive in fucking minutes, man. Like, especially now with all the new shit coming out, like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and stuff. Those games are going to be fucking huge. You can guarantee you're going to fit, 3 or 4 games on that hard drive before, that's it. Even if you buy the shit physical, you still got to, like, download a bunch of stuff for it, whether it be patches. That's another thing, patches that come in and fix games. Or even still, you got to you have to, like, copy the game to your hard drive. It's like, 1 terabyte is nothing. But when it comes to, like, streaming, I guess you're only using, a couple megabytes per video, I assume. Because, like I said, a terabyte and a half, and the most we've ever gone is a little over 75% of that cap. So, I would assume, like, 1.2 terabytes probably, which means we still had, 300 megabytes left to go. Which, I don't know, could have been, or I'm sorry, 300 gigabytes left to go. I had that all fucked up. So yeah, I assume it only takes, 50 to, well, I don't know. Because now I'm thinking it might even be, close to a gigabyte for some stuff. So maybe it is like 500 megabytes, you know, for a video or something, or 250 for a video. It's crazy to think of where we came from, man. Like we've went. You look back at your old computers and shit. Like when we first got a computer, that thing had a 56 kilobyte modem. 56 kilobytes. That's like, dude, that's like fucking 5% of a megabyte. And that was like the speeds that they had. You know, the old dial-up sounds. You know what I mean? Like that shit. Oh man, I haven't heard that shit in a while. But you know, now it's just like everything has like, oh, this is a 16 gigabyte. Has 16 gigabyte of RAM, and you know, fucking the memory internal storage is like, you know, a whole terabyte of whatever, and it's fucking wild. You know, it ain't what it used to be, man. Yeah, it's fucking, man, you go and look up porn like it's nothing now. You can fucking go up there and boom, full fucking 30-minute videos, crystal clear 4K. Whereas back in the day, you literally had to wait like 20 minutes just to download half a tit because 56 kilobytes was nothing. Nothing, man. It's fucking ridiculous how far we've come to this shit. I remember whenever a guy I went to school with, he would brag about his computer because he had a 256 kilobyte modem. Modem. And then fucking, he's like, yeah, but my shit downloads forever. And he's downloading porn at fucking, you know, videos are taking, you know, 3-4 minutes to download. Where if I were to try and download like a snippet of like a song, like a, you know, like a small little trailer of like a song that was coming out, you know, 30 seconds, and it would take fucking 10 to 12 minutes just to fucking get that 30 seconds of song down. Because, you know, because it was after that, then everyone figured out like Livewire and like Napster and shit like that, or LimeWire, that's what it was. LimeWire and Kazaa. I mean, this was after Napster. I wasn't quite there for the Napster thing. I was still a little young. I think we had a computer, but I wasn't into like downloading music or anything yet. So like Napster came out, and then, you know, Metallica went to court with them and pretty much, you know, ruined them. So they weren't a thing. So everything, there was the other file sharing that came, which was like LimeWire and, you know, Kazaa. What was the other one? BearShare or something like that. You know what I mean? Just stuff that stuff that fucking, it was basically your computer was just banging hookers. Because when you download shit, you have no idea what the fuck was in there. And you could literally download everything from like episodes of TV shows to music to fucking porno, man. It was all on there. And that's where my buddy would fucking go and get all his shit. And I don't know, some of the stuff, he was definitely he was a weird kid, so I wouldn't be surprised if he had questionable shit on there. You know, I was almost afraid to look at stuff on his computer because I was afraid of what it might be. It might be illegal. I'm not gonna fucking look at that shit. Yeah, but he was just, like I said, he was fucking weird though. You know, he probably typed in shit, you know, specifically for some of that stuff. I mean, that dude had fucking like weird shit, like animal shit. It was nasty. But yeah, we didn't have that kind of modem for me to go. Plus, we all shared a computer. Like, it was a family computer. He had this computer. It was his. It was in his room. You know what I mean? And then the family had another computer downstairs. And they all knew he was up there jacking off on that thing. They all knew. But his dad was probably like, you know, I didn't have this shit. I had to fucking find a ripped up sticky magazine in the back of my dad's fucking, you know, closet just to fucking see a fucking tit and vagina. But I don't know. Nowadays, everything's fucking, they're just, you know, women are just shoving all kinds of stuff in their pussy now. I mean, fuck, man. There's no, you know, there's no innocence anymore, man. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be sad whenever, you know, my kids are, you know, going through that time, because when I was going through that time, there was still Playboy, you know. Granted, we had, you know, little low res, you know, snippets of videos and shit like that you might be able to get on the computer, but it wasn't like it is now. We're still basically we were still basically held back by like the magazine, so like Playboy and Penthouse and shit like that. But now, when my kids are older, I mean, we have a computer. How easy it is for them to go look shit up. And the first thing they're going to see is just fucking the dirtiest stuff, man. The dirtiest stuff, dude. It's going to fuck all these kids up sexually. I mean, they're going to end up, they're going to go and they're going to lose their goddamn virginity. And they're going to be like, all right, well, should I shit on your chest first or do you want to do me? You know what I mean? Like, there's not going to be there's no innocence left in it. They're going to see that. They're going to be like, oh, okay, that's how it is. So I need to get this glass jar. And, it's not going to be simple shit. And I know they're going to be doing it. Because at some point, they're going to have phones, too. They're going to have phones. And they're going to fucking, it's going to be a smartphone because that's all there really is. I could just get them, when they're younger, I could just get them those little flip phones that'll just call me and, their mom and stuff and other family members. But when they're older, like, high school and shit like that, even middle school, I don't know. It all depends. But they're all going to have those smartphones and shit. It's going to be nothing for them to fucking, go on the internet app, look up fucking big titty bitch getting pounded by a huge cock, and then they'll fucking watch that video over and over again until they get the balls to look up more shit, and then it's just, it's going to fuck them all up. I'm sure there'll be some kind of parental controls. But, I mean, after a while, once you're a teenager and shit, you still can't go on certain websites because your parents are fucking, have control of your phone. People are going to make fun. Not that they really need to know that, I guess. They could just be like, oh, I'll look this up or whatever. But, I don't know. It's all the same anymore now. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be a weird world here in about 10 fucking years. I hope my kids have a decent school experience, because my school experience was shit. I look like a fat Harry Potter, so it's not like I had, I mean, I had a good bit of friends. I got along with most people, but there was no way. I wasn't talking to many girls, I can tell you that, and definitely wasn't popular with a lot of the jock kids or anything like that. Even though I did play sports a little bit, it wasn't like a full-time career for me in high school. I was more worried about getting high. Worried about getting high and playing video games, so I was like, I don't feel like playing football or whatever. So hopefully they don't fucking make the same mistakes I do. I know the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but hopefully they can be a little more, well, I don't know, their mom wasn't exactly a saint in school either. Granted, she didn't do as much shit as I did, but I don't know how well she did academically in school either, though. Mine, I just didn't do the work. I just didn't do homework. I mean, I did pretty decent on tests and stuff, but actual homework, I just never did it. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not bringing shit home. I'm already at school. Teach me while I'm fucking here. And now what? I gotta waste fucking, a couple more hours of my day at home doing whatever. And what if you do extracurricular activities like, football or shit like that? It's just a pain in the ass. Projects I can understand. I mean, if you have like a science project or whatever like that, or, some like reports or whatever. But if you're giving kids fucking homework every goddamn day, that's a pain in the ass. That's horse shit. They're going to see you for the next 9 fucking months. Is that not going to be enough to cram it in their fucking head? I get it. You're going to have some shitheads, man. I'm not going to pay attention, not going to give a shit, but, man, I just feel like, I feel as though you should fucking not send the work home with them. You know what I mean? I mean, granted, we had some teachers that would give us homework in the middle of class, and you could just do it right there in the fucking classroom. Like, it'd be no problem. I used to do that a lot. I used to do the actual homework in the classroom. That way, that way I could just fucking, be done with it. We actually had a teacher that would actually take, because there was lessons in the back of the textbooks, and it would be like 10 or 12 questions that you had to answer in the back of the book, and they'd be like, all right, answer the fucking 10 questions, part 1-3, chapter 5, part 1-3, answer that part up, and then turn it in. Well, I don't know if this uh, teacher knew, but there was a fucking answer key in the back of the book. So I literally went through one day. And we get through every chapter of the book. 12 chapter textbooks or more even, maybe 15 even. And we ended up doing all those things in the back. So what me and a couple other guys from my class did, we just sat down one day, we got super fucking high, and went down, just wrote these papers out from every chapter, every part, 1 through 5 or 6 or whatever it was, and had all these papers in a folder that had all the answers that we would turn in. So when he would be like, or she, I can't remember the teacher's name. She's like, all right, tomorrow for homework, do part, 1-6, chapter 6, 1-6, and I would just go home, and in that folder, it would be there because it would be the next one in line. Because the day before she took that one, I would just take that out, put it in my folder for tomorrow, and that was it. That's what I would do. And I think another teacher did. I think I had 2 classes for that. And I think one of them was, like English, and I say the other one I believe was a science. One of the sciences, and I had folders just for them, so that I just take them in. So I never had to I had to do homework basically for one night for those 2 classes throughout the year. And this was in high school, man. This was 10th grade or something like that. But what's funny is the next year after I did that, they changed the textbooks out because I think they caught on to the answer key thing, because these new textbooks did not have the answer key in the back, I don't think. So they changed them out and got new textbooks. And then wasn't so easy to do homework then, at least for the classes that came after me. But homework was just not my thing, man. Homework was garbage. But then I would do the tests, and I would do decent. I would get C's. Low to high C's, sometimes a low B. Sometimes I even got A's, sometimes, but mostly it was like C's and B's. Pretty average student. But the homework is what killed me. The homework, and I didn't pay a whole lot of attention in class. I would kind of just daydream and shit. So I would always, have to go back and look at notes and shit, look at textbooks and stuff. When it comes to studying for tests, I would just look at the textbook and read through that chapter basically if I had to study. But I don't have to worry about that now. I mean, not until they come back. My kids come back with some shit that they don't know what to do with. Which is gonna suck because I forgot long division once when I was looking at my niece's stuff. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I don't remember how to do this. I don't remember how to do long division. And I do now, but I had to reteach myself. Because like I said, I forgot. I looked at it and I was like, how come I don't remember how to do this? I mean, I only use basic addition and subtraction. Every now and then I'll use multiplication. But I think they have a whole new way of doing shit now, too. I think they have a whole new way of doing, multiplication and division. At least the way I was taught is no longer around anymore. I mean, addition and subtraction, I believe, are the same. If they change those, that's fucking dumb. So there's no easier way to do it. But multiplication, they have them, writing out these graphs and shit. I'm just like, wait, what the fuck? It's basically, I just feel like they just made that harder almost. I mean? Instead of it being, because it ended up, when you did multiplication, it ended up being just a longer problem, and then it would turn into an addition problem, essentially. Now they have writing graphs and shit. I'm just like, this is terrible. Why would they even bother to do that? But times are changing, so I mean, I can't expect everything to be the same way as it was, fucking 15, 20 years ago when I was in school. But It's wild still. I mean, this year marks, this will be the 14th year I've been out of school. So almost 15 years now I've been out of school. Yeah, 14 years will be this, yeah, this graduating class I would have graduated 14 years ago, which is fucking insane now that I think about that. Holy shit. I can't believe I never thought about that. 14 years ago, I was a senior in high school. That is absurd. Why is everybody slowing down? What are we doing here? Uh, yeah, man, it's crazy. And now that I have fucking kids, years just fly by. From fucking, from the time I was 18 to 25, they didn't exactly fly by, but they moved a little faster. I'm not going to say they didn't, because they definitely did. But now that I started raising kids and having, focusing on a career that's going to take care of my family and shit like that, the last 5 years have fucking just flown by. Because I had my first child when I was 25, 20, 26. I was 26 when we had him. Yeah, I was 26 when we had him. So, fucking, I mean, that's the last 5 years, fucking absurd. Fucking ridiculous. Just fucking flew by. And now there's 2 more kids added on to that. So now I have 3 kids that are just making me age in fucking dog years, man. Just fucking, it's crazy. I mean, I feel like I have to, I try and keep, you know, uh, I try to be more, god damn it, what am I looking for here? I try to interact with them as much as possible, just so I can, don't become that dad that just fucking sleepwalks everywhere, sleepwalks through his life, goes to work, comes home, goes to sleep, wakes up. I try to interact with him on my days off as much as I can. And anytime I'm not at work, I try to, hang out with him. Usually it's, usually now I can only see him in the morning and shit, which is kind of shitty, but even still, when I was working that early morning shift, I only saw him at night if I was lucky for an hour because it was almost their fucking bedtime. So, I don't know. Granted, it's not gonna hurt as much later on when they're in school and shit. Once the wife is working, I won't have to fucking work all this overtime or anything like that. I'll be able to take off, be able to shave off a couple hours a week, get home a little earlier, hang out. It all depends. I know she wants to go back to work. She hasn't been to work in, fucking 4 years now. Ever since after the first, like a couple months after the first one was born is when she quit her job there where she was working because they were treating her like shit. And I was like, well, fuck them. Well, they ended up firing her anyway. And then I was like, whatever, then you're just collect unemployment until it runs out. You know what I mean? And she did. They even took her to court for it. It was hilarious. And when they found out that they fired her because she was because our son was sick, he had to go to the hospital. And they found out about that. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, you're entitled to this. Her company was, it was a little bit hard to work for, just because the reputation they got. It's probably not as bad now. And they did do really cool stuff. Like she did have off like for 2 or like 10 weeks or something like that of maternity leave, and I want to say that it was paid too. I want to say it, but I don't remember. And then she went back to work again for like 6 months or something like that, or 8 months. And then, we had to go to the hospital for the kid because, he was a premature kid, so he was, a little harder for him to get up to speed. He was getting sick a little bit more. Not a whole lot, though. He wasn't sick a whole lot. But, after that, then they just fired her, and she was like, well, we'll do this. And now I've just been working and doing everything myself. And people ask me how the fuck I can do it, and I'm like, very fucking carefully. I budget every goddamn thing I can. I try not to, I don't really spend stupidly anymore, especially now that we got a house and we have the mortgage payment, which is much bigger than any rent payment we've had. I definitely can't be going out like, buying video games or buying shit that I don't, just having it, just having stuff around. Like I have to fucking make sure everything else is taken care of first. And that's why I told her, I'm like, when it comes to like school, because pretty soon we're gonna have to go like school shopping for them every week or every year. They're gonna grow to the point where they're gonna need new clothes every year, and there's no way in hell I'm gonna be able to afford that with 3 kids. I'm not gonna be able to take 3 kids school shopping every year. I mean, plus with like Christmas and fucking birthdays and shit like that, it's it's gonna be a little painful. I mean, it's already painful now with shit because we have a pretty big family. Buying Christmas presents and stuff like that, birthday presents, gets rough, man. It gets hard. That's why I have to work all these fucking hours I do. But then every time I do work all these fucking hours, something shitty happens where I have to spend all the money that I just finally got back, and then I'm right back to square one. I'm right back to, well, I guess I need to work fucking, 60 hours this week, for the next couple weeks so I can fucking get that fucking chunk of money back. But luckily we have family that helps out and stuff like that. Her dad owns a construction business, so he'll come over and he'll give her like, a couple $100 and be like, hey, go buy some formula or something like that, or go buy the kids some clothes or whatever like that, which is super cool. Pretty grateful for that. Like I said, the family buys the kids shit, stuff like that. So it's not like they're going without. It's not nothing like that. But I don't want to fucking be so broke that these kids are wearing, fucking the same clothes they were wearing 2 years in a row now. I mean? Me, I've been wearing the same fucking clothes now for, I get a couple new shirts every now and then, but I've been wearing the same fucking clothes for fucking 5 years now. Just the same shit. Because I have no reason to go and buy anything new, really. It's all working still. Some of the stuff's a little old, but some of the stuff is just, it's still usable. It's still I still have a shirt. Now this shirt, granted, isn't exactly, it's not very, it's a little worn out. Like there's holes in it, a couple holes in it and stuff. There's one like right in the middle of it, right under the decal or the logo, which I'm sure I could just sew that up. My wife could just take some needle and thread to that. But I had this shirt. Both me and I think two of my cousins, me and two of my cousins got this same shirt. And I'm pretty sure I was in middle school. And I still have it to this fucking day. I still have it. I still wear it. I just wore it last week. It's not really a shirt I wear out. I usually wear it in the house. But it's an Echo shirt that I got like I was like in 8th grade or something like that. And, and it's big because, I was a fucking fat fuck back then. I mean? So now it's, it's like a 2X. And, I mean, it fits me now, because it fits me because I used to be able to swim in it, a couple of years ago. Now, being a driver and having kids, I've gained a little bit of weight back, but it's still pretty big on me yet. But when I put that shirt on, I'm just like, holy shit, I used to fucking fill this thing out. This thing used to stretch a little bit, but my fucking big old gut and man titties were in it. And now, now it's just a little torn up. I'll probably end up, stitching that part up because I'm gonna keep that. You know what I mean? And I even still have stuff back from when I was like a couple, 6, 7, 8 years ago when I actually was very thin. Stuff that I can't wear now because, I'm not as fucking thin as I once was then. But back when I was real thin, those things are tight on me now. But maybe if I stop slacking off and start, using those weights that I bought, maybe I'll actually be able to fit back into it. But we'll see. We'll see. I just don't want the kids to have to fucking worry about that. Be going into fucking 8th grade with the same shirt they wore in 6th grade. Yeah, I mean, granted, there's going to be hand-me-downs. I mean, there's hand-me-downs right now, but there is going to be some hand-me-downs of clothes for some of these kids. Yeah, because there's no to buy a whole new wardrobe for children every year is just absurd. And you know they're going to fucking want, shit that's going to make them look cool. That was the whole reason that me and my cousins got these Echo shirts, because Echo was the cool thing then. Echo and Nautica. What else was there? I don't know. Like there's, I think Lugs, the boots. They were a cool thing back when I was like in middle school or something like that. But I never owned a pair of Lugs. I owned a pair of Timberlands, but I never owned a pair of Lugs. Even though Lugs were really cool boots, but they're definitely not for like working. They were definitely just like stylish boots. Whereas Timberlands, you could wear them for work because they were actually a nice, high quality boot. Not that Lugs weren't, but you can't get them dirty or else people are gonna fucking laugh at you. 'Cause that's how school is. Because kids are fucking cunts, man. Children like from middle school to high school are the biggest pieces of shit you'll ever meet. They're ignorant fucking people, and they'll fucking if it makes you feel bad, they'll do it. Like they will fucking do it. And that's why I'm hoping that everything kind of works out for them. I hope they don't turn out to be, little round Harry Potter looking motherfuckers like I was. I would rather, hopefully they're a lot taller than I am. Hopefully they're have a better metabolism than I do, than I did, I should say. Not that I have a good metabolism now either. My fucking shit's garbage, but we'll see. We'll find out whenever, the youngest starts next year, or the oldest starts next year. So we'll see how bad school can get in the next couple years here. Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly how my parents did it. Fucking. So especially since they were divorced and shit like that, there was a whole different spiel of you know court shit that had to go on. I'm sure my dad was paying child support, so I'm sure they were able to afford you know uh, things like the clothes and shit for me without an issue. But now it ain't like it used to be. Life it's way different now, man. Fucking we everything has gone up in price substantially. Like there's definitely been a large percentage increase in almost everything. Almost everything is much more expensive now than it was, fucking 10, 15 years ago. You know, but everything else pretty much stayed the same. The old minimum wage and shit, and, all that other stuff stayed the same. The actual money that people can make, unless you own your own business and shit like that. But if you're working like a regular job, they're trying to. It feels like they're trying to just keep that same wage around. You know what I mean? So, all right, dude, shut the fuck up. Come on. But it's not. I mean, the minimum wage is still $7. Like $7.25. And everyone bitches that, if you raise the minimum wage, then everything else goes up in price. Well, it fucking shouldn't, because everything else has gone up in price while the fucking minimum wage has stayed the goddamn same. Why should it go in price? They only raise prices because the materials to produce something are more expensive now. So in order for them to make a profit, they have to fucking raise their prices. And some places just raise their prices because they want to make more profit. Which I get it. I understand that. Everybody wants to make more money. But it's still horseshit that I could work somewhere for however long and still I still continue to get, the same wage while everything's getting more expensive around me. And then some places, they don't even get like a cost of living raise. I don't think we get that. I don't think we get the cost of living raise. Which is like what, fucking 25 cents, an hour, something every year or whatever. You get an extra 25 cents or extra 30 cents. We don't get none of that shit. We have a cap. Once we hit that cap, we don't make any more money. You know what I mean? And granted, it's not, nothing, it's not a low cap. You know what I mean? It's good money, but at the same time, they're giving them, those guys up there who are up top are still giving themselves, 2%, 4%, 7% raises every goddamn year because, well, shit gets more expensive. Yeah, no shit. Why don't you pass some of that fucking earnings on down to us, you fucking assholes? That's how it is nowadays. So, you know, people wonder why people are like so like people watch shows like Breaking Bad, and then at the end of it they'll be like, "That's what he gets. Who would think of doing such a dumb thing? Why wouldn't have he? He was making fucking shit wage, working as an overqualified fucking teacher. Now, granted, he could have fucking done other shit. I'm sure. I mean, this is just an example. Teachers are getting dicked out of their fucking money. They should be making a lot more money than they are. But they're getting screwed out of money, and then they have to pay for all the shit that they get in their class out of their own pocket. And then people are, one of them goes and decides to sell drugs or something like that, and they're like, oh, how could he? How could he not? When you're fucking hit with like desperate times calls for desperate measures, you know that fucking saying? It's true. It's fucking true. That's why I brought up Breaking Bad. The dude had cancer. He still had to fucking work. He couldn't pay for the fucking treatment. Maybe his health care wasn't that great, I guess, but even still, why the fuck wouldn't you go do something? If you're fucking good at something and you know that you can fucking, in his case, he knew he could cook meth. You know what I mean? He just needed someone to sell it. And then what? Boom. Within like the end of the fucking season, he had fucking, 80 grand saved up already. Or had fucking 80 grand stashed away that he would use to fucking, pay for his shit. Why the fuck wouldn't anybody do that? It's not that hard to fucking believe that somebody's in a tight spot and they're like, I know people who do these drugs. I could probably get some and sell it to them. I don't do it myself, you know what I mean? And then fucking it would all be profit pretty much. I wouldn't have to fucking worry about, divvying out a fucking portion of the product for my usage, so they would just make all the profit. How couldn't you think that that's possible? That's super possible. That could be anybody. If you work in the right environment, someone where you can get fucking, a bag of fucking Percocet off of for not that expensive, and then go and fucking, double or even triple your money somewhere. How could you, not believe someone could do that shit? How could you think, and then how could you shit on them for doing it, knowing that they did all this stuff to be a law-abiding citizen, upstanding person in society, and they're getting shit on all the time, and now they're in such a hole that they're fucking like, oh well, you didn't have to go sell drugs. Then what should he have done? You know what I mean? I don't see anybody putting in their own input. Nobody's out there saying, hey, well, he could have done this. No, nobody's saying that. They're just chastising somebody who tried to provide for their family or for themselves even, just because it was something it's a dirty business. You know what I mean? It's a criminal business. You know what I mean? Now, if you're just a regular drug dealer and that's all you fucking do, well, I mean, yeah, then you can fucking shit on them. Because let's be honest, you can't just sell drugs forever. Even if you are making good money doing it, you can't just do that forever, because pretty soon people are going to be like, so, how'd you make all this money? How'd you do this? How'd you do that? You know what I mean? Because let's be honest, if you're a lot of the big time drug dealers just fucking go and buy fancy cars, big old house and shit like that, and have no like proof of income. It's just like, well, how'd you do it all? You know what I mean? You got to have some. I believe you need to have some kind of job on the side, and not like McDonald's or something. Don't go work at a gas station part time, and then expect to go buy a fucking house with all your drug money, because they're still gonna be like, yeah, okay, we're not stupid, dude. You're not making $180,000 a year working part time flipping burgers at goddamn Burger King. So you have to have like a full-time job, that you can kind of almost have a cover for. Basically just basically cover up income, essentially, is what it is. But some people just don't need that. Some people make plenty of money at their job. I mean, some people just fucking, you know, some people might just get, a full-time job and then they'll fucking, they might work around fucking shit. God, dude, come on, really? They might work around shit people and they might just fucking do their dirty business right there, maybe. I know I used to work at a place where everybody did drugs. Everybody did drugs. I worked there full fucking time, and I could have easily just fucking, went and, picked up a fucking 8 ball or fucking, well, I don't know, picked up weight of something, of some kind of drug, and went and sold it to all of them. You know what I mean? Now, granted, it was only like 11 people. But every week that would be extra income coming in because they're going to get it. They're going to buy it every goddamn week as soon as payday comes around. But then, you're also kind of taking advantage of those people because they're not making a shit ton of money. I wasn't making a shit ton of money. They're not making a shit ton of money. So, I mean, a fucking good portion of their paycheck is coming to you every fucking week. But I feel like that's what, people would need to do in that situation. But I'm getting a little off track here. I just think it's shitty for people to shit on people for doing desperate things in times of need like that. You know what I mean? People will go, they're in debt or whatever or something, and they go and rob a fucking bank. I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect? Someone's done something, they've done something right all this time, and it's done nothing but, bit them in the ass. And then it's like, I can't believe it. How could he go and do this horrible thing? He had a job and a family and all this. And I'm like, yeah, and his job wasn't providing enough income for him to provide his family. Even after he worked there for fucking 25 goddamn years, they still found a way to, make it fucking difficult for him. And then he went and did that. Of course, I wouldn't put it by anybody. Anybody. There's that fucking basketball player that fucking, whoa, what was that? Fucking lights just flickered on that traffic light. But, yeah, there's that basketball player that, I think he played for, like, the Dallas Mavericks, I believe. And, I think that's the team. Might have just mixed two teams up. Might have just mixed up a city and a team name there. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, though. But he fucking, he was, making, a shit ton of money doing that. And then, now his story might be a little different. He might have just fell on hard times. He might have got addicted to drugs or whatever like that. But, he was on the side of the road begging. He was on the side of the road begging because he didn't have no fucking money. That shit, for a lot of people, that shit could just be taken away instantly. For a lot of people. Especially if you, like, own your own business or something like that, or if you're self-employed, that could easily be taken away. You know what I mean? And there's plenty of regular jobs that, that shit could be taken away. You know what I mean? So, some people's jobs become obsolete. And then they're just like, all right, well, you're fired. That happened to somebody here at my work. They were like upper management kind of deal. But they were just kind of like I don't even know what he did. You know what I mean? He just did stuff that literally somebody else who just sat in an office could do. And somebody realized that. And they're like, well, we're just going to have to get rid of him. Because they didn't want to get rid of the guy in the office because I don't know if it was a seniority thing or if it was just they liked him better. I don't know, but they canned him. And then it was, of course they gave him a nice fat severance package and whatnot, but he had to go and find another job, which wasn't hard for him knowing he's been here for, he was here for a long time, but it's kind of a dick move. You know what I mean? Just because it could happen. It could happen to anybody. Anybody it could happen to. Just don't go shit in the bed and, oh my God, acting like that fucking, acting like it's got, acting like it could never happen. Of course it can happen. It can happen to anybody. And of course that person could be like, well, fuck it. I'm going to fucking, I'm going to fucking cook MDMA in my bathtub and fucking sell it. You know what I mean? And that could happen. You know what I mean? Maybe not to that large of a scale, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not impossible to think that shit like that could happen. But I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking about all this all this depressing shit. This is a depressing day. It's just a depressing day today. Rainy and dreary. It's a, fucking beginning of the week. Nobody wants to goddamn be doing anything. So I think I'll end this right here. I might not even fucking post this one. I don't even know. I feel like this one was kind of shitty just because there was nothing really good to talk about. Wasn't much going on really. Just some minute, shit. But I don't know. If I decide to post this one, I'll post it. If I don't decide to, and I decide to fucking just leave it, leave it in the back burner, I'll just fucking record another one hopefully here later, and maybe it'll be better. I don't know. We'll see. But thank you guys again for tuning in. That part will never change. That will always be at the end. Uh, I will see you guys here in a couple days with some more shit talk.